Summer is a beautiful time, isn't it, on its way? We always look forward to it. But as Indigenous people, the summer is very, very special. I mean, it's the time that we gather all the things that we need to keep us healthy and full all through the winter. In New England, which we're in what's now known as Rhode Island, but we're just blessed with beautiful surroundings. We have the freshwater ponds for canoeing and fishing and gathering the wild herbs and plants around the ponds. We're very blessed with that. Even to this day, we do lots of blueberrying, raspberrying, blackberrying, huckleberrying, you name it, we do it. As well as the fact that we get to go out into the oceans. You know, that kept, you know, when the explorers came here to Rhode Island, they talked about how tall and how stately the Narragansett people were, but I think it's to do with our environment. We have an extraordinary environment that's full of everything that we need. You know, those the fields are filled with all kinds of game and wild medicinals and plants to eat. But then we go down to the shores, which we did every summer. You know, the first summer homes were Narragansett summer homes here. And we would build our new, our dome-shaped home in by the water. So we'd grow our Three Sisters gardens nearby with the corn, the bean, the squash, the tomatoes, you know, all that great, what we call Italian food today wouldn't have happened without us Indigenous people here. And we'd be down by the shores. I mean, just picture South County and the beaches and the beautiful waves and the salt ponds, digging clams and oysters and diving a little deeper for scallops, and then fishing with our weirs, and which my nephew is a great scientist and does lots of, and takes all our kids at Nuituan School all out there, doing all these traditional things, but being close to nature and the environment. But what a beautiful place to be right there on the ocean, having ceremony and giving thanks for the Creator for all the bounty that's right here in little old Rhodey. We have everything. We've got the woodlands and the fresh waters and the salt water, so it's a very beautiful place. Of course, we have all the gardening that takes place with the Three Sisters Garden, and the beauty of that, if you come visit us at Tomaquag Museum down in Exeter, it's not too far. I know we live in Rhode Island and it's a trek, but pack a day bag. And if you really need to, we'll send you to the overnight place about a mile down the road, and come visit us. It's a beautiful ride through the forest, and eventually you get to Tomaquag Museum, which is right up on a hill, but we have this lovely Three Sisters garden there that the students and the staff have established, and hopefully this year we'll have lots of bounty. One year we pulled 97 winter squash out of the garden, so it was a great year. We have beautiful things in our collections. You're seeing flashing behind me, you know, collections pieces of dugout canoes and fishing weirs and different implements and tools that we would use throughout the summer months to gather, you know, put them in beautiful baskets, and everything that we needed came from nature. And we didn't need that landfill down the road here in Johnston. It's a fun place to go on a field trip, but it's not really the greatest thing. In our day, we had what was called a midden, and the only thing that really sort of ended up in there was broken rocks, some shells from maybe some crabs and some lobsters and some quahogs, and maybe a few bones. Other than that, there was nothing left to throw in there because we used everything. As you see, Cassius is dressed in his traditional clothing. Today, we've improvised with ribbon shirts. But certainly in the summer months, he'd just have his bottoms on and not worry about a top. And you know, most of our things came from nature. The skirts and pants are made from the deer skin, from the hide, which when we think of the deer, we often think of that as the super Walmart of Indigenous life. Everything came from the deer. You know, you tanned the deer hides to wear from the brains. It's kind of gross while some people are eating, sorry. Glad I don't live in 1402 because that would be my job to tan those hides, and I'm kind of girly-ish, so I don't think I would like that so much. And use the deer toes for adornment. He has like leg garters that are actually finger woven, but a lot of times people would put the deer toes on there because they clank, and so when you're dancing it makes a music. And we would traditionally use deer teeth for things. We'd make needles out of the bones, sinew for sewing, you name it. We got most of everything that we needed just from the deer, and then everything else that we might have needed we got from everywhere else in nature. But it's an amazing thing that you could dress yourself, have blankets, and food, of course. Lots of food comes from the deer. Things like pemmican. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. Anyone had a Slim Jim lately? Beef jerky? Well, pemmican's kind of like that. And we would prepare that in the summer where we'd be drying things, drying fish so that we could save it for the winter, drying squash and drying corn. And eventually, some of this is going into the fall time as well, but we would be collecting those things to save for the long winter months. So, anything to add to that, Cassius? I was just...
Oh, one of the points when she said that, Narragansetts are tall, it actually is really true. Actually, my younger cousin she's actually taller than me right now. But the reason is because, when we go blueberry picking, there's always that one juicy blueberry that's like right at the top. You gotta reach. So, all of us, we're all kind of tall. And then, even in the records when, colonists came over here, they said they were pretty tall for the natives in this area.
Thanks for watching. This podcast series is presented by Tomaquag Museum. Visit our website at www.tomaquagmuseum.org. Tomaquag Arts programs are sponsored by Amica Insurance. Auto, home, life, Amica. Support this and other great podcast content at our Patreon page, www.patreon.com/artways.